In the two-tiered political justice system, leftists, liberals, and Democrats demand that Republicans and conservatives be prosecuted beyond the fullest extent of the law. Meanwhile, they themselves try to skate by on flimsy excuses for serious breaches of peace. These are their stories.
Apparently, one of the Democratic members, Jamaal Bowman, according to the House Administration Committee, also tried to pull a fire alarm in Cannon this morning. An investigation into why it was pulled is underway.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America! Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. And speaking of dumb, I'm sure you've heard the news from over the weekend of Democratic Congressman Jamaal Bowman from the People's Republic of New York pulling a fire alarm during the House session considering the continuing resolution to continue to fund the government. We're going to break down all the news, the accusations, the defenses, the evidence, all that good stuff. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another show. And if you end up liking what you see here, please be sure to smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that good stuff. Let's have some fun with this video. That's why I'm wearing my Less Government, More Fun t-shirt, available right now at shop.buffoonerytheweek.com and also right below this video and under our store tab. But enough with the plugs, let's get down to business. So I went through YouTube to find the earliest reporting of this incident involving Congressman Bowman, just to see what was said initially and what the impression was from the media. And I found the most liberal outlet I could think of, MSNBC, it's a mistake I make all the time, apparently, reporting on what was going on while the resolution was being debated on the House floor. You see the time on the screen there. So this was as it was being reported initially by the media. Let's take a look.
So we're watching the debate on the House floor before they have a vote on a continuing resolution, a 45-day essentially stopgap, as they figure out a budget there. I want to go back to the Capitol, if we can, and talk to Julie Sirkin, because I know we're getting some new reporting in on some of the delay tactics that we've been hearing about as we're watching this debate.
This report is coming in the context of Democrat delay tactics, delaying the passage of the continuing resolution. At the time, Hakeem Jeffries had taken his moment to speak on the House floor. It took a very long time to do so, and it was all done because, reportedly, Democrats needed to get a better handle on the bill. You can take that for whatever it's worth, but listen to the report and the context in which it's being reported.
Play out there, Julie. Talk to us.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on our ever-moving Capitol Hill text chain while I'm here looking at the House floor where Speaker McCarthy is currently on somewhere in the chamber. But Democrats are trying to delay and try to keep this vote open. You heard Jeffries talk on the floor for quite a while using his magic minute. You heard me say that they're huddling now trying to read this bill. Apparently, one of the Democratic members, Jamaal Bowman, according to the House Administration Committee, also tried to pull a fire alarm in Cannon this morning. An investigation into why it was pulled is underway, according to the House admin GOP chair Brian Stile. But I got to tell you, if this is actually another delay tactic, of course that is a fine, not only a fine, but he could be arrested by the Capitol Police for doing so.
So the report is being brought up in the context of delay tactics from the Democrats. That's significant to me, at least, in the framing of the story as it comes out. Everyone, including MSNBC, is thinking that this could be a tactical measure by Democrats to delay the vote and to make Republicans responsible for the shutdown of the government.
Again, we don't know why he did it, why this happened. I want to be very clear. We're out to his office to find out more information. But this is just really a really high-pressure, high-stakes situation for Republicans and Democrats as Democrats try to read this bill and figure out what's going on.
So in the fog of war, as it were, at least this one reporter is connecting the Democrats' delay tactics to Congressman Bowman's pulling of this fire alarm in Cannon. By the way, is the Cannon House office building. It's one of the office buildings where Congress members have their offices. There are two others as well. It's all part of the Capitol complex. So if an alarm is pulled somewhere, it's all the responsibility of Capitol Police, and it's all under their jurisdiction. So, given this context from the media, and especially from an outlet like MSDNC, the reaction from Republicans was quite predictable.
I was really appalled of watching Democrats' actions today, to delay it to get to a shutdown. But when we found that an individual elected to Congress would pull a fire alarm, that's a new low. We watched how people have been treated if they've done something wrong in this Capitol. It'll be interesting to see how he is treated on what he was trying to obstruct when it came to the American public. With that, I look forward to your very open and optimistic questions that you have been asking this entire time.
What do you think the consequences should be for delivery people the fire alarm and what steps, if any?
You know, I think ethics should look at this, but this is serious. When you think of how other people are treated when they wanted to come in and change the course of what was happening in this building. And did he deny he did it when it's on tape? And I'm going to have a discussion with the Democratic leader about it, but this should not go without punishment. This is an embarrassment. You're elected to be a member of Congress. You pulled a fire alarm in the minute of hours before the government being shut down, trying to dictate that government would shut down? What's going through a person's mind like that? But we will find the right ability to.
So that was Kevin McCarthy's reaction. As time passed by, the reactions became more inflammatory.
Talk about Jamaal Bowman pulling the fire alarm. Capitol Police are questioning him right now because it's on video. That he violated the exact same law that January 6th defendants are being prosecuted for every single day. He violated the exact same law, interrupting an official proceeding, and by pulling a fire alarm. It's on video.
Jamaal Bowman, a member of the Socialist Squad, actually pulled the fire alarm to create a fake emergency to prohibit a vote on the House floor. I mean, this is the United States Congress, people. This is not some New York City public high school. And so I'll tell you this much. What he did was a federal crime, and I'm putting in a resolution to expel him from Congress. I hope he's going to be charged with the federal crime that he committed today.
So let's explore what that federal crime is that both Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nicole Malliotakis are referring to. So I did a little bit of research and I came across this nugget. It's 18 USC 1512. And if you go down to subsection C2, you will find a section that may apply to what Jamaal Bowman did. Subsection C says, whoever corruptly otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding or attempts to do so shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Yikes. That could be a hefty penalty if Jamaal Bowman is indeed charged and convicted under this law. So Bowman did indeed speak to reporters before putting out an official written statement. Let's see exactly what he said his excuses were for this whole fire alarm thing. I was rushing to make a vote. I was trying to get to a door. I thought the alarm would open for a door and, reporter. So you pulled a fire alarm to open a door? Yes. How does that make sense? Good question by the reporter. What do you mean? Reporter, how do you? I mean, when have you ever pulled a fire alarm? You thought it says fire on it. Bowman, I was just trying to get to my vote. The door that's usually open wasn't open. And you know, I didn't mean to cause confusion. I didn't know it was going to trip the whole building. I thought it would help me open the door. Now, keep in mind also, Jamaal Bowman is a former principal at a school. I think he knows what fire alarms do and what happens when you pull them in a building. Reporter, so innocent mistake then? Bowman, basically yes. Reporter, they're accusing of pulling the alarm to try to delay the vote. Bowman, that's BS. That's complete BS. So that's his initial defense, and then he put up a further statement from his office. So here's the written statement that Jamaal Bowman released after making those remarks to that reporter. I want to personally clear up confusion surrounding today's events. Today, as I was rushing to make a vote, I came to a door that is usually open for votes, but today would not open. I'm embarrassed to admit that I activated the fire alarm, mistakenly thinking it would open the door. I regret this and sincerely apologize for any confusion this caused. So right off the bat, he's admitting to pulling the fire alarm. He hasn't denied doing it. His reasoning is that he thought that it would open the door so he can get to the vote. But I want to be very clear, this was not me in any way trying to delay any vote. It was the exact opposite. I was trying urgently to get to a vote, which I ultimately did and joined my colleagues in a bipartisan effort to keep the government open. I also met after the vote with the Sergeant at Arms and the Capitol Police at their request and explained what had happened. My hope is that no one will make more of this than it was. I am working hard every day, including today, to do my job, to do it well, and deliver for my constituents. So what we have here is a conflict over motive. The Republicans and the initial media reports put Jamaal Bowman's motive as trying to delay the vote and to interfere with an official process. Jamaal Bowman saying he was doing nothing of the sort. I wonder if we look at some evidence that we have already, if we can see if Jamaal Bowman's motive holds water. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. So let's go through the photographic evidence that we have of the scene and Jamaal Bowman's actions to see if we can glean what the true motive here may have been. This is in no way an exhaustive investigation. I don't have the resources that the Capitol Police have. I don't know what the Capitol Police know. I only know what's in the public sphere, and these are some photos that are out there that I think are pertinent to try to analyze what happened here. So first, we have the photo of Congressman Bowman doing the deed itself. It looks like that he is grabbing at something by some doors. There's a sign that he's walked by that you see at the bottom of it, and he's holding something in his hand. So when we go to look at the scene itself, we see that that sign actually says emergency exit only. So he has already walked by the emergency exit sign to go to that fire alarm, which, as you can see, is on the side. Here, look, I'll circle it for you right now. It's right there on the side on the wall. There are also two additional signs on the door that if you look at, say, emergency exit only, and explains how pushing the door for a certain amount of time will set the alarm off and the door will unlock in some time thereafter. It looks like 30 seconds. So we have the scene set. Now, if you go back to the photo of Congressman Bowman pulling the alarm, I can't tell for sure, but it looks to me like those two signs on the door that we're seeing in the other photo are missing. And we're also seeing something in Congressman Bowman's hand, which looks blank on that side, but we can't exactly see what it is. But it looks to be the approximate size of those signs. Let's take a look at the signs again. You see that they're there. They're about the size of the pane of glass, probably smaller than that. And then you go back to the other photo, and you see he's got something in his hand. We can't tell what it is. He doesn't have a briefcase. He doesn't have any papers with him. He doesn't have a file folder, I don't think. It doesn't look like that to me, at least. So what's in his hand there? I think that's going to be crucial to determining what the motive of Congressman Bowman was. If that is indeed those signs that we see in this other photo, that could be damning. If he indeed took those signs down, that could be problematic for what he says he was trying to do. He also said in his initial statement that he was trying to get the door open by pulling the alarm. But the doors clearly say push until alarm sounds. He didn't have to pull the alarm. And by the way, if you look at the alarm itself, let's get a close-up of it. The alarm itself says nothing about opening a door. It just tells you how to turn on the alarm in the case of a fire. To me, this puts everything that Congressman Bowman said into complete question. But I'll tell you this, Congressman Bowman is exhibiting a lot of the traits of buffoons that I talk about in my book, Schnooks, Crooks, Liars, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. What I'm talking about is an amalgamation of buffoonery, which includes a completely buffoonish action, pulling the alarm in the context of this vote, obviously not the smartest thing to do, but beyond this surface level buffoonery, it may end up becoming that Congressman Bowman is covering up his true motive, in which case I'm going to invoke the Anthony Weiner rule. It's not the action that gets you in trouble, it's the cover-up that gets you. So in addition to the obliviousness and the contortions to try to get out of a possible crime. There's this idea that he thinks that he can just break the law and get away with it because he didn't have an ill intent. What's interesting here is that the internet is forever, and Congressman Bowman had many comments about the January 6th insurrection, as it's been called, and talking about how criminals should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. In fact, I'll put his tweet up right here, where he says, "No one in this country is above the law." Well, that includes you, Congressman, as well. Whether you wanted to or not, you definitely interrupted a proceeding of Congress at a very crucial stage. The question becomes, as the law states, whether or not you committed this corruptly or not. That's the standard that we have to meet to say if this has been a crime. There's no doubt this is complete buffoonery, and you made an ass of yourself. But whether or not it's a crime, I think is going to hinge upon what was in your hand in this photo and what was in your mind at the time of pulling that alarm. I think that if what is in your hand are those signs that are missing from the doorways that we saw in the photos, you might be in for a bumpy ride. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I want to know what you think. Please be sure to comment all your thoughts about what Jamaal Bowman did. It's clearly buffoonery, but is it criminal? That's going to be the big question going forward. And I hope that you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, so we can have more conversations just like this one over the shenanigans and buffoonery of members of Congress just like this schmuck that occur every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.